Yeah, it's been a good week. I mean, we got through with exams. Had 2 good physical days, Monday and Tuesday. I went recruiting yesterday uh, and saw a guy. And Wednesday, kind of these midweeks, we usually do film, lifting, team meal, and come back and do a lot of shooting. So assistant coaches handled that, and so we're doing a lot of extra lifts these last couple weeks, and doing a lot of things as far as managing guys' weights and really trying to get them at the maximum or minimum weight for them to be really, really good. And so spent a lot of time with that, and we'll hopefully have a good practice today on Thursday, and we head down to Jackson Friday. You know, we try to combine some things. We have a deal at the Westin with our players and boosters from 5 to 6 on Friday. Then I'll go to a local high school game and probably have some dinner with maybe some boosters, right after that. So we try to do a lot of different things. We hope we have a good crowd. It's our second straight year. It's one of the first things I really wanted to do was play a game in Jackson, and I told Keith that, our very first meeting when we were talking about scheduling, and he was all for it, he and Ross. And I thought we had a good crowd last year, so I'm anxious to see if the crowd will grow, and then at that time we have to make a decision, whether Jackson is a place that we're going to try to get to year in and year out. And I'm the first one to tell you, I love Jackson. I love being there. So a lot of our students are at home. A lot of our great alumni are right there. But, the single thing that keeps the people away is the Coliseum. And, being the coach at Ole Miss, I would love for the city of Jackson, to be able to do something about that, and to get that Coliseum for a lot of different things, but especially for basketball. So I think if it really got to a point that we could, us, Mississippi State, even Southern Miss, could really attract some people to come to Jackson and play good opponents. So hopefully it'll be well run on Saturday. People will be able to get in the arena in good fashion and see a good game on Saturday.
Talk about wanting to see how this one goes before making decisions about the future. What do you want to see in order to?
Well, number one, the crowd. We'd love to see that. We'd love to see it grow. And trust me, when I say all that, I understand that we're responsible for that. Our team, our quality of play, and the whole thing. But to be able to come back and just see that crowd grow, because we thought for the first year it was a good turnout. It was a midweek game, so we tried to get. I know it was a little close to Christmas, but on Saturday at 1 o'clock, you would think that. Whether you're doing some Christmas shopping or things with your children, that for 2 hours, hope the weather's going to be great, that you can get in and out of there and be able to do the different things at night, And so the main thing is just how well it's attended, and do the people really want a game in Jackson every year.
What are some other places, Ole Miss hotbeds that you've thought about too, taking?
The
coast or
yeah, we have. We've talked a little bit early talks with Jay at Southern Miss and maybe doing an exhibition game on the coast. We've even looked at maybe if there's a casino that could handle it, almost like the Atlantis or things in Vegas that maybe could do it, or the Mississippi Coliseum. Jay has kind of taken the lead on that. And may do it for a cause down there, to try to raise money for a great cause for people on the coast. So we're in talks with that. And, I love the Bancorp South Arena. Tupelo, it's just too close. I know Andy and those guys did it at one time, but we got so many great Tupelo Ole Miss fans there. But I think just 45 minutes away really doesn't make sense. Or South Haven, I know that's another place, but if we're going to do that, we're going to play our games.
Tupelo makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, I know it does. I know. And so does my dad and my mother. They want it too. So I'm getting family pressure there. I love the arena, the setting, even South Haven. But if we're 45 minutes, we need to be playing in the pavilion.
You've talked about wanting more physicality from Austin Crowley. How much more can you realistically get within a year before he goes through weights, conditioning, training? How much more physical can he become on the fly?
I think he can become a lot physical. I don't think it's about weight. I think it's how you use your weight. I think there's some point guards out there that weigh 170 pounds. They're some of the most physical point guards in college basketball. He's 190. He's strong for his size. I thought the second half the other night, and we said a little bit in the press conference, and I watched this, the best he's defended. He equated to making shots. He's athletic. He's strong for his size. It's just, Austin really wanted to put his nose right in the middle of all the physical plays, rebounding, 50-50 balls. And so I think we can see a big increase, from now until the SEC tournament.
When Luis went down, you see the first guy that popped in your brain as a guy that had to step up and
No
do more?
question. Yeah, because of his size. Just his size, and that's the position. Austin, he's a 2-3, and I think before his career's over with, he's going to be able to play some 1. He's got a good passer, and he's real safe with the ball. And so, but there's no question about that. And that he's the one guy that's going to have to go back and try to rebound the ball. And I mean, you start in this SEC, and even whether it's Saturday, whatever, there's a lot of physical small forward 2 guards that he's going to have to match up with.
Y'all were surprised when he initially committed to Vanderbilt, then when he gets out and he comes to Ole Miss. What was that whole recruitment like for him?
I don't know. You'd have to ask all. I think we're the very first people to ever offer him when he was at Middle Tennessee. You'd have to ask him that, but I know we offered him the very first day we could call him before his junior year in June. And so we've been in that process for a long time. He was a big priority when we got the job. He loved Ole Miss. His family loved Ole Miss. And, you don't get shocked too many times in recruiting. I've about seen it all in 38 years. That one kind of shocked me when he called us, Said he was going, but, so we, wished him well and went next. And it was unfortunate what happened, but I think in his mind he knows he's at the right place and feels good about being at Ole Miss, and his family's at every game, and they can drive to see him, and he's going to be a really, really good player here.
You mentioned recruiting and being out on the road. What kind of number are y'all operating on for the spring? And I know you're always evaluating, but what is the lay of the land for recruiting right now?
Yeah, I'd like to. I really can't give you a number, Ben. I really can't. We're always evaluating our players currently, their progress, and then just what's out there. A lot of times we're going out and we're seeing 21s. And we're going to see some young kids on Friday night, in Jackson. And so there's a lot of different things that go into it, how physical we are around the goal, just the progress that some of our guys are making on our team. And, if we're really trying to take a huge step, and that's what we're trying to do all the time. So, yeah, we're constantly evaluating every single thing.
You talked about wanting to get a little older too, so is that coming as far as grad transfer and all that stuff? You'll obviously be involved in that, right?
Yeah, sure could. I mean, obviously if you get older with a grad transfer, it doesn't affect recruiting in that next class, which that's a good thing if you get the right one. But there's still some post-grad, guys that may have been out of high school for a year. We're evaluating. There's not a ton of junior college guys out there right now that can come and make a huge difference in the SEC. But you know what? There's a handful, and we're evaluating all that. So I'm serious. We'll explore every single option that we can, and then obviously doing a ton of work in the 21 class and even in the 22 class.
You brought up last week wanting to get Franco a little more involved, and I think he got 12 minutes or so last weekend. Just from watching the film, what did you see from him, and do you expect that?
You looked at the stat line, not much, looked at it, but I tell you what, I thought he did fine. We were just bringing in guys, and it's just, and when I say it, all those guys have had good moments, but it's just negative plays, negative defensive plays. I don't think I've taken one of those guys out for shooting. It's just they come in, and it's whether it's Sammy Hunter, and they just go bam, bam, right at him. Or the other day we brought in Bryce, and they went boom, boom, just right at him, and just scored on him. Franco at least just, he got himself minutes because he guarded, he did some good things, he took care of the ball, he could shoot it and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's really just about defending and rebounding, and then when you can do that, then you can settle into the game.
Yeah, so for you, it's just defensively, that's where you don't have any patience. Offensively,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
give them some rope.
No doubt, no question about it. I mean, it is. I've always, everywhere I've coached, my better players that play extremely hard and have great attitudes and work, shoot, I'm going to live with a couple extra turnovers and some shots. I mean, that's just part of it. I think that's why they have to be good players. And, and those other guys, it really is defensively. I know it just is. It's defensively. And the reason that Franco, he was the first perimeter guy off the bench is because we talked about that point system. Deflections, rebounds, assist to turnovers, 50-50 balls, and he beat out those guys in that particular week. And we started all over again this week. And whether we have the bigs together, whether it's Dream and Sammy and KJ and Blake and Dude, and then you've got Brian, Devontae, Franco, Bryce, Austin, you know, and so you look at, I may have left somebody out, but you look at those guys, and we compare them. We just compare them, and that, to me, that keeps practice competitive.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.